Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the Bullet Points. Today we've got some cool stuff. We're going to be going over some Glocks, and you know, everybody owns a Glock, everybody shot a Glock, so we're not going to go over the guns themselves. We're going to go over some aftermarket parts for them. I've kept my eye on Zev Trigger for a while. It's a company that makes a ton of aftermarket Glock parts. I've seen a lot of guys at matches using their stuff. I've got some friends that have put some Zev parts on their guns, and everybody seems to speak really highly of them. So I figured I'd order a couple $100 in parts, put them in one of our Glocks, and see how it compares to the standard version. So we took two Glock 19Cs, literally the exact same gun. If you're not familiar with the C, it's the one that's got the factory porting on the barrel and the slide. So we took two of these guns that are exactly the same, left one bone stock, and then we've upgraded the other one with the Zev stuff. So right off the bat, you're going to notice this magwell. This is the Zev low profile or slim IDPA magwell. It helps with magazine insertion. It's beveled out quite a bit here, and it's got these angles cut in the bottom, so even if you don't line your magazine up perfectly, as long as you start to get it in there, it'll kind of correct your feed and help you with magazine insertion. So great piece there. Secondly, we've got the mag release. This is another Zev part. The magwell is about $85, I think. I think the magazine release is about 40 bucks. Gives you a real solid positive feel. And another thing that I noticed is when you're installing this, you can actually put this piece forward or backward. So if you've got very large hands, you can kind of run it forward and keep your magazine forward near your trigger. Or if you've got medium or smaller hands, you can run it backwards and get a little bit more grip further back on the handle of the gun. We've done the Zev Trigger, their full fulcrum trigger setup, which was very easy to install. I thought it was going to be a little bit more of a pain in the butt, but really it's pull the 3 trigger pins out, pull out the old assembly, and drop the new one in. I would equate it to as simple as like doing a Timony drop in on an AR. Very, very simple, and it makes a huge difference on the gun. You can feel an enormous difference in the take up, your slack, and then when the trigger breaks, it breaks a lot crisper and a lot lighter, and your reset's completely different. So you're able to place more shots on target a lot faster and a lot more accurately. A couple other parts that we've done on this one that are not Zev related. We've got the AmeriGlow fiber optic sights, and you can see here there's no painting or anything on the back. It's just the front one that's fiber optic. So we replace those. And then one of my biggest complaints on Glocks is the slide catch release. They're like incredibly flat and sometimes hard to get to, especially if your hands are wet or, you know, conditions aren't ideal. So we went ahead and did the Ghost slide release here. All in all, I think we've got a couple $100 in parts. I think it's 85 for the magwell, about 40 bucks for the magazine release. The Ghost slide release is about 15. And the AmeriGlow sights were running around 40 bucks or something like that. Not incredibly expensive. Oh, and the trigger. The trigger is actually 175, so that one's a few bucks, but probably one of the biggest differences you can make on the gun. Went ahead and picked up some grip tape for it as well. You can find that on Amazon. Just slap that on the gun. And then also, we've got the +2 Glock extensions. They make these for the PMags as well. So if you have the regular Glock mag, it'll be a +2. If you have the PMag, it's actually a +5. So we had the standard Glock mag, so I figured we'd just run with those. We do want to do some testing with the PMags though, and their +5 version. And these are about 40 bucks each. So, I mean, $40 for a +2 on a magazine isn't that great of a deal, but looks cool, gives you a lot more, you know, positive reinforcement when you're reaching for a mag, gives you a lot more gripping surface, and it adds a little bit of weight to help the mag drop free if you're doing quick magazine changes. So all in all, this gun feels really good in the hand, especially compared to its stock brother over here. But we're going to take them out in the field, test them a little bit, do some magazine changes, time some stuff, and check accuracy. So let's go ahead and get these things out, fire a couple rounds, and I'll let you know if, you know, the couple $100 investment was worth it. All right, guys, first off, we've got the stock Glock 19C. I'm out at 5 yards from a little paper target here, and we've got a shot timer. So I'm going to ask for a beep. On the beep, I'm going to draw, and I have to put both rounds in the 10. reload, and put 2 more rounds in the 10. So it's going to be accuracy and time. And it's going to be really trigger, shot placement, magazine reload, draw, a little bit of everything. So we'll see what the time is with this. Then we'll break out the Zev Glock, try that one, and see how it compares. All right, 5 yards, stock Glock 19C. All right, I got 2 of them on the 10, 2 of them just outside on the 9. What was the time, Brian?
Total time 6.64. Your split was at 0.80.
0.80. You guys like the radio voice we've got behind the scenes?
I don't know if y'all can see that or not.
Cool. All right, let's try the Zev. How we do there?
Total time 5.53. Your split was 0.45.
So we cut about a second off the total time and cut the split time in half.
Split time was pretty much in half.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. And we're actually more accurate on that one. I got 2 of them in the 10 for sure and 2 of them in the 9. So we're actually slightly more accurate as well as a significantly better time. Just for argument's sake, I think we run that a couple more times and we'll see if the results are any different. All right, guys, again with the stock 19C, 2 rounds on the target, magazine reload, and then 2 more rounds. A little bit better that time. We got actually 3 in the 10, 1 of them on the 9. And what was our time?
Total time 5.86. Split time 0.37.
Sweet, getting better. All right, let's run that Zev again, see if we can do any better. All 4 of them in the 10 and actually very well stacked, if I do say so myself.
Total time 5.22. Split time 0.40.
Not bad. All right, so we're actually pretty close on the split time there, but total time was better. I'm really thinking I think everything helps. The sights are great. I can, even in low light conditions, I can pick up the target quite a bit better with this AmeriGlow fiber optic sight on there. I really like that. The trigger, I'm thinking helps quite a bit because I've been more accurate on both runs with the Zev over the stock Glock. And then the time, I equate that to drop a magazine, get a new one in, and then of course that follow-up shot. So I think the trigger helps me there as well. All in all, I mean, it's not a complete night and day difference, but these Zev parts have definitely increased my shot time, or decreased my shot times with this Glock. So I'm very, very happy with this. If I had to pick 3 things to do to a Glock, I would do the sights, number 1, and these AmeriGlow sights, again, are about 40 bucks. It's not extraordinarily expensive. I would probably do the slide release. I noticed with the stock Glock, I was kind of having to reach my thumb a little bit further up and come off target quite a bit. This one's a lot easier to manipulate. And that's about a, I don't know, $13, $15 part, something like that. And I'd say the mag release are probably the 3 cheapest and best things you can do to this firearm. After that, I mean, the trigger is amazing. The trigger's a night and day difference. So if you have the money, you know, again, $175 or so, I would definitely do the trigger. But if you're looking for, you know, 75 bucks to spend on your Glock, I would do the slide catch release, the sights, and the mag release. There is another part that Ghost makes, who does this slide release. It's called a trigger disconnect or trigger connector. It's 3.5 trigger connector, I think. That's also a very inexpensive part. It's not going to be quite like the full Zev drop-in fulcrum setup, but it does increase the feel of your existing Glock. And again, it's a very easy install. So, I mean, all in all, if you got 75 bucks to spend on your Glock, there's a couple things you can do right off the bat. If you got a few more dollars than that, I mean, the magwell's great. Having these extensions on here is fantastic. You can fit more rounds, first of all, but then it also gives you a lot more to grip. And when you're inserting the mag, it gives you a lot more positive reinforcement there that you can jam up in the magwell. So all in all, I really like this Zev Glock. It's shooting really true. I would recommend a sight alignment tool if you are installing new sights, whether they're Americlo or Trijicon or whatever. They're kind of a pain in the butt to try and, you know, jerry rig yourself. But if you have a sight alignment tool, bring it out to the range with you and you can sight these things in pretty well. So all in all, that Zev Glock is pretty badass. Again, for, you know, under $400 in parts total, that's talking about the magazine extensions, the magwell, the grip tape we did, trigger, mag release, slide catch release, and sights. You're building out a pretty sweet gun. That'll compare with like a lot of people's race guns, and you know, if you're getting into competition, you know, every little bit helps. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you all learned something, and we'll see you next time on the Bullet Points.